Hi. Today we've got something, it's not a watch review, but what it is, this is my Spinnaker Bronze, which I've done a video of before. I had a problem with this watch. Basically, the manual wind failed. The gears meshed up on the Sellita SW200 movement. So the long and short of it was it went back under warranty and had a brand new movement fitted. So this is a brand new Sellita SW200. Now, what I've noticed since I've had the watch back, it's running at about, well, I've noticed around about 12 seconds a day, which for me, I'm not happy with. So what I'm going to do in this video, I'm going to take the strap off, remove the back, and test the timekeeping with an app on my phone, which is Timegrapher. So I'll take some pictures of that. Now, to use this, don't get me wrong, it's nowhere near as good as one of the proper devices you can buy for testing the time on your watch and all that. What you have to do is you plug your headphones into it and you place the mic across the back of the watch and then it can record it. It's not good enough to listen through the actual case back, so you have to remove that. So we're going to remove the case back. To remove it, I'm going to use this. So one of these cheap, simple tools. But to make sure I don't mark the back of the watch in any way, I'm going to use some of this tape. Now, this isn't your normal sellotape. This is quite thick. I don't know its proper name, but it's quite thick. I'll place that across the back, and that way, when I put this tool, the case back tool remover on here, I'm not going to mark it in any way. Fingers crossed. So, okay, I'll remove the strap and remove it back and we'll go from there. Okay, as you can see, I've put some tape on here. I've also put it on the bottom of my watch holder. And that way, I shouldn't actually mark the watch when I remove it. So that's it, that's the case released. Okay. There's the movement. So that's the Sellita SW200. You can see the ring holding it in position. Obviously, I'm not a professional watchmaker. I'm not going to touch anything apart from this one adjustment screw there. So first things first, I'm going to rest it down here, plug this in. I'm going to rest the mic across here, like so. Now on the app, let's start. So it's actually saying in this position, it's 16 seconds a day fast. And to be fair, it doesn't look really like a particularly healthy chart. So all I'm going to do, so if I stop that, is there's an adjustment screw. I'll put some better pictures in just here. And I'm going to only turn that by the smallest amount and just see. Now, in theory, I could get this to 0, but that, remember, is only in this one plane, this one position. When the watch is in a different position, it might be completely different, and that's where high quality watches, which are cost certified, are king, because they're regulated in 5 or more positions. This I'll only regulate in one position. So it should improve it but it's not going to guarantee perfection. So now I'm going to do this and be very, 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 very careful. Don't get me wrong, I wouldn't do this with any of my really high-end watches. So I've turned that a tiny amount. And now I'm going to start again and see how we're doing. Okay, to be fair, that's not really any better, but I'm going to turn it again. I say I'm only turning it a tiny amount. Okay, I've got it down on the Timegrapher to, I don't know if you can see that, down to 5 seconds. Now, I don't want to go to 0 because I once put a watch on 0 and then found that it was running slow. So I'm going to stay with 5 seconds and then check it over 24 hours and see what it's like. Because I say, just if it means in this position it's running right, but when it's over to one side, you know, if you're, you know, got your hand down all the time, that's a different position, so it can change. So I've been extremely careful not to touch anything, which I shouldn't. So all I've done, I say, is moved that one screw there. Obviously, this really isn't for the faint-hearted. If you mess up here and put the screwdriver into there or put too much pressure onto the rotor, you can be in trouble. So what I'm going to do next, I still have the case back here, so I'm going to attach that back onto the watch. So I'll do that next. Okay, what I'm going to do next, I'm going to set the time and basically wear it for 24 hours and see how we do. So that way I get a proper representation of its timekeeping over that period. I know the graph can tell me one thing, but as I say, that's only in one position. So now everything's all back together, all looks okay. So I'm going to put the set the time and come back in 24 hours and see how we're doing. So okay, bye. Hi, it's been 24 hours. Yesterday, from regulating the watch and setting it, synchronizing it, I wore it all day. I did take it off for about 2 hours when I was in the gym, but that was it. And then I just put it in my bag. I didn't worry about which way I placed it, up or down, so it was just thrown in my bag. I wore the watch also when I was asleep, so I didn't put it down on the bedside cabinet because I know you can, if you place it crown down, normally it slows the movement and so forth, but no, I actually wore it. And I've just checked it against the iPhone again, and it looks to be a fraction over 5 seconds out, maybe 5.5 at a push. So that's, to be fair, not half bad. I'm quite happy with that, and I'm going to leave it. So it just goes to show you can regulate your own watch. I say I wouldn't want to do this with any of my expensive watches, but on some cheaper brands I don't mind so much. It's especially on, like, to be fair, the Solita movement is incredibly easy because there's just one simple screw. You can do this without the app, that's also possible, but it would take you several days, because like where I first moved it yesterday and found I got nothing, I would have found it out this morning, and so it would have took at least 4 4 days, maybe 5 days to do it, and it's a lot of taking the back off, adjusting it. Not being a watchmaker, I want to limit that down to the minimal amount of times I have to do it. So I would, you know, for this, I've only took the back off once, regulated, that's it, it's going to stay on now. So that's how I'd rather do it. And to be fair, the app is not particularly expensive. I think it's about 10 or 14 pounds. You can buy a proper Timegrapher, which are about 115 pounds, I believe. Maybe 150 for the low end ones. I'd like one at some point, but at the moment, I'm not in a situation to get one. So we'll wait and see. But there you go. So it just goes to show you can, you know, regulate what you watch yourself. I don't know how much a shop would charge for actually doing this. Who knows? But to remember, if you've got an old watch which is desperately in need of service and you're going to try and regulate it, you're just masking the fault. It needs a service more. So this is a brand new movement. It's only been in the watch for about a month or 3 weeks. Obviously they didn't regulate it before putting it in. So now I know it's all, yeah, all okay. So there you go. That's my little video on using the Timegrapher app and regulating your own watch. Hope you enjoyed. If you did, feel free to subscribe. If you didn't, as I said before, you can't win them all. Okay, all the best. Take care. Bye.